You're here because you want to level up your sales game, so let's just jump into it. These are 26 of the best sales hacks of all time. The first one is tell them how much they'll make. When talking about their product or service, a lot of people go in very soft. They'll say things like, oh, our chatbot will help you interact with potential customers. Instead, you should say things like, our chatbot will increase your conversion rate by 800%, which at your current deal size will add an extra $100,000 a month. The next one is spin selling. That's 4 questions you can ask to drive a client towards buying from you. First is the situation. What live chat provider are you using right now? Or how do you deal with customer service issues right now? Then the problem. Are you satisfied with your response times? Are you satisfied with your conversion rate? Then you move into the implication.
They can't refuse because of the implication.
Have you lost a deal because of slow response times? Do you ever lose sales because of bad sales training? And then the need payoff. How do you feel about using an AI live chat that's trained to sell, which will increase your conversion rate? The next one is the puppy dog close. This is where you offer prospects the ability to try your product with no strings attached. And once they see it, they're going to want to buy. In the agency world, that would be having a free consulting session. In the design world, maybe you're coming up with some wireframes for them. Or in SaaS, it could be as simple as a free trial or a free implementation. The next one is strategic social engagement. That is, if there's a prospect you really want to connect with, then you'll go to their LinkedIn about 2 to 3 days before and comment on whatever posts they're writing. Or go to their Twitter and leave some tweets. Basically follow them around the web without pitching, just so that they've seen your name subconsciously and associate that with value. Then when you send a cold email or make a cold call, you'll get right through. The next one is this cold calling system from Chris Ritson. Basically, when you're normally making cold calls, you're tracking the number of calls made. And Chris is saying use a different scoring system. So 1 point is if they pick up. 3 points is if they say not right now and booked a meeting. 5 is if they say yes right now and booked a meeting. And 10 points is yes right now, booked a meeting with 2+ stakeholders. And the aim is to get 5 points every single day. So instead of just tracking your number of dials, you can play this little game about it and make sure you're actually delivering massive value every day that you're making calls. The next one is value demonstration via storytelling. So instead of pitching 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤 as an AI-powered live chat, I could tell a story about how I lost a deal to a competitor because I didn't respond within 6 minutes and my competitor did. It was the worst day of my life. I was ready to hit that big commission check. If I didn't get this check, I would not make rent for the month. That helps prospects see the solution rather than you having to explain it to them. The next one is the breakup email. If you're trying to force a response from your prospects, you can send an email like this. Hey, Stelly, I was really looking forward to talking with you about 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤, which can help you get more customers via live chat, but I haven't received any response. I'm sure you're busy, so this will be my last email to you. If you change your mind and would like to give 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤 a try, please let me know. Always happy to chat. Best, Alex. This will force either a yes or no, which will either increase your close rate or stop them from wasting your time. The next one is using a personalized first line in your cold emails. So instead of sending a generic outbound email, you're going to use a first line like, hey Dennis, huge fan of what you're doing at 𝐥.ai. We use it all the time internally. Or, hey Macy, love the work you did in Wiener Schnitzel. Something to customize your pitch to that specific prospect and company. That'll increase your close rate. Then there's the assumptive close, which is proceeding like the prospect already agreed to buy. For instance, if you're trying to sell lead generation and they book a free call, instead of trying to pitch yourself as the ultimate lead generation expert, you just ask them about their target market, you ask them about their problems, and then you start generating leads right there on the call with them. After they've seen what you can do, they're going to buy. The same goes with consulting, the same goes with SaaS. Instead of giving a normal generic demo, just start onboarding them into the platform. A demo call is long enough to get any customer set up, and by going through that setup process, they're going to be automatically sold. The next one is the ultimate cold call opener. This one's from Trent Dezel, and it is, hey, this is Alex from 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤. How are you? A lot of people overcomplicate cold calling, and I've got a whole video on that coming out. But this is all you need to do because it gets the customer to engage with you, and they're not going to hang up right away. And if you can get past that point, you're much more likely to close the sale. Then there's the reason why technique, which is giving a compelling reason why they should take action by using the word because. So instead of saying you should use this AI live chat, we'll say you should use this AI live chat because you're going to lose customers if you don't. Another one from the same guy, Robert Cialdini, is the foot in the door technique, where you start by asking for something small, and that gives you permission to ask for bigger and bigger things. So for instance, on your sales calls, you could say, hey, what software is your website built on? Once they tell you that piece of information, oh, we use WordPress. Now all of a sudden you can ask, how much revenue are you generating from your website? And because they answered the first question, they're much more likely to answer the second, even though they probably wouldn't have answered it if you had just asked the second question directly. The next one is time constraint, where you impose a time limit on your offer to get them to buy now. So you could say something like, because of our high demand, this pricing expires on Friday, so we really need to get you in by then. Or there's only 5 left on this and I'm expecting them to be sold out by the end of the day, so can I get an answer on this call? The next way to improve your sales is to use industry-specific case studies. Bonus points if if they look exactly like the customer. So if you're talking to a B2B SaaS company that was having trouble closing deals, and then you bring up a B2B SaaS company that was having trouble closing deals that you helped, now the sale is basically guaranteed. Next is the Benjamin Franklin close, where you list the pros and cons of doing business with you. So the pros of implementing an AI live chat solution are faster response times, higher close rates, more money made. The cons of putting in an AI live chat are you might have to fire some of your low-performing sales team members. You might spend less time on training your team. You'll have to take less meetings throughout the day. All of that builds the value and the persuasion in their mind. The next one is personalize your value proposition. So before your calls, you look at the customer and you guess what their biggest problem is. And then when you first talk about your tool to them, you talk only in terms of their value proposition. If they have a chatbot, I could say, well, 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤 is an AI-powered sales tool. It's not just a chatbot, plus it lets you take over if needed. If they have another AI tool, I'll say ours is the only AI that's proven to close. So you can actually put it head-to-head with this tool and see how it does better. Next one is the contrast principle, where you present less appealing options before you present your final solution. So for ours, I could say, well, you could hire a team of American reps that'll work for you 24 hours a day, but that's going to cost $3 to $4 million a year. Or you could use our tool and do it for $99 a month. The next one is get some easy intros using this strategy from Brian Lamana, where you look in your CRM to see if your potential prospect has worked at a company in the past where you know somebody. Then you ask that person to do a warm intro for you. Sending an email like this. Hey, Mike, congrats on joining the team at Acme. One of my colleagues, Brian Lamana, noticed that we're connected. I shared how great you and Steve were to work with and wanted to facilitate the intro. Brian will take it from here. That gets you in the door with people that normally wouldn't respond to cold outreach. The next one is inbox rotation. So instead of sending cold emails from your primary domain name, like for instance, 𝐥𝐢𝐤.com, I'll send cold emails from 𝐥𝐢𝐤Tool.com, 𝐥𝐢𝐤App.com, 𝐥𝐢𝐤360.com. They all forward to my main domain name, and that way I can send a lot more cold emails without losing my primary domain to spam. Next is the 3x3 rule, which is before a meeting, spend 3 minutes finding 3 interesting things about that person's company. If anything, this forces you to learn what the company does, which puts you head and shoulders above any other salesperson that they're talking to. Next is asking for referrals after a success. After delivering value or closing a sale, ask them if they know anyone else who could benefit from your service. Don't wait until things are going poorly, and don't wait until too late in the sales process or you might miss the intro. Next is the mirroring technique, where you subtly mirror the prospect's moves. So if they say something on your cold call like, look, I just have no interest in this tool right now, then you could say, look, I know you have no interest in this tool right now, but are you interested in improving your conversion rate? Notice how I used the same word, look, plus the same tone, and transitioned it into the sale that I was going to make. Then there's the trial close, which is throughout your sales call, you're asking questions like, how does that sound so far? Things that'll test the waters, because as soon as they say yes, you don't want to sell anymore. You want to jump in and close that deal. So ask these little trial questions to figure out how ready they are, and then when they're completely ready, seal the deal. If you want more of these, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Subscribe for more, and you the best.